Hey guys, welcome back. Well, today I kind of wanted to talk about firewood. As everybody knows, the cold season's approaching, so the burn season's almost here. Those of you that don't know, I own my own tree service and firewood company, and we sell about, I don't know, it's hard to say, 500 to 1,000 full cords a year, depending on the winter, how cold it is in the winter, and so on. Like last year it was pretty warm, so we didn't do as much, which is fine. And we gain a lot of customers due to other companies not having dry enough wood, so it works out for me. So I kind of wanted to go over some things to look for when you purchase wood and have it delivered, or you go pick it up. Yeah, there's always a telltale sign, you know, if it's kind of, you know, discolored. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit gray or darkened. You can tell it's been out in the elements. It's got some cracks in it. So this is a piece of sugar maple. This wood here is going to be for next season. I split this, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. It's sugar maple. So I just have it drying for the next burn season. It won't be ready this year. I know some people will split maple and say it's, you know, it's good to burn in 3-4 months. It is a faster drying wood, but sugar maple I feel holds on to a lot of its moisture. So I know some of you homeowners may have a moisture meter. Most of you probably don't. What's the point of having it? But so here's an example. So like I said, this has been out in the sun, good airflow for about 3 months, and the outside of the wood, we're at 20%, 19 point something, right? So you know, most people are like, oh, that's within the percentage to burn. Well, that ain't the inside, I could tell you that. There's no way. So what I'm going to do is, obviously this isn't split open. I'm going to split it. I have no idea what the inside moisture is. So let's split this open and see what we got. Hopefully I can do this clean. Try to get it down the middle. Okay. So that goes together like that. So this is the middle here. So 25, 26. It's actually not too bad. Still a little wetter than it needs to be. But this is maple now. Remember, this is a faster drying wood than, say, you know, oak or ash or cherry. Yeah, so that's 24 point something. So we started at like 20, 24. So that actually isn't terrible, but it's still wetter than it needs to be. So just because the outside of the wood says it's one thing, most of the time that has nothing to do with the inside. Obviously, in hardwood, it does take a lot longer for that moisture to wick away. Softwoods, they dry a lot quicker. So now if I grabbed a piece of ash, it would be way more wet inside. So key is, you know, make sure you know what kind of wood that you're buying, how long it's been sitting. You know, I've had it where I've had a lot of customers experience wet wood that's been delivered to them in the past, and then they're pretty anal about when I show up as a new vendor for them to make sure their wood is dry. So I have no problem. I'll split open 10 pieces if I have to of different species from all intermixed in the batch that I bring them before I dump it, to make sure that they're happy with it. So I have no problem with that. So yeah, no, it's, you kind of have to know. And just because, like I said, the outside of the wood says 1%, that is not what the inside says. It's always wetter every single time. I know that because even in my kiln, when I heat it up, obviously the outside wicks away. I mean, here's an example. It rains, right? Or not even that. In the sun, the outside of the wood is going to dry faster than the inside. It's hotter on the outside. It's just like your skin. You get a sunburn, right? You don't get a burn inside your body, do you? It's just the outside. So Obviously if you sit out long enough, maybe, but it's just the wood on the inside takes way longer than the outside. That's common sense. So a lot of people I feel aren't as educated on wood. They just buy it hoping that whoever's supplying them is honest with them. So I know we're only talking about wood here, but at the same time, that's how I make a living. And you have other guys out there advertising they have dry wood, they get the wood and it's unburnable. You know, I've had a few newer customers this year say you know, they've been getting a lot of bad wood in the past and they need wood that's burnable now. Well, yeah, everybody does. So, and you firewood guys that are making wood and delivering this stuff to customers that the wood's not good to go, it's just bad. It's bad business. And as soon as you get a rap that you're selling wet wood, you're going to lose a lot of customers. So if it's not ready, it's not ready. I mean, just have more inventory for next year and try to get ahead on your drying schedule. I mean, the longer it burns, the better it is. And of course, smaller splits, of course the wood's going to dry quicker. It's just how it goes. So you got to kind of know your customers. And every customer's different. I mean, you ain't going to make everybody happy either. Most of my wood is, the average person I'd say is, they would say it's too small. But most of my people heat with wood in their wood stoves in their home, and as most people know, wood stoves are not that big a box. It's not like an open fireplace where you could put in little bigger pieces or a boiler or whatever. So I've had customers say, oh, these are really small pieces, or I had some say, oh, these are a little bit bigger than I expected. Like, so you ain't gonna make everybody happy. So moving forward, you kind of can figure out what they want. Maybe separate some stuff depending on the volume that you do. I mean, like I said, I sell in big quantities, so most of my people around here, they want the wood that they buy is to heat their home. It may be 90% their heat source, and they supplement it with something else or whatever, propane or natural gas. So yeah, if you don't have a moisture meter and you're a homeowner that actually burns, they're not that expensive. I mean, I think you could buy them from, I don't even really know, $100 to probably sky's the limit. The ones I have are usually range around 50 to 60. I got 3 of them. So I always try to test with a couple different ones just to make sure, and they're all pretty accurate. So yeah, so don't just go off of the outside of the wood. That is not a true reading. I usually, what I'll do is I'll measure the outside, I'll measure the inside, and I just divide it by 2, and that's the overall average of the wood. So if I have 10 on the outside and 20 on the outside, you know, it's roughly 15%. That's how I gauge my wood, because obviously you want the outside to be a little bit drier than the inside, because that'll start burning quicker and then heat up. You just don't want the inside to be too wet, and now you're creating heat to melt, or not to melt, but to wick away the moisture out of the wood. So you're heating that to evaporate that to burn the wood, and you don't want that. You're never going to have a hot fire. It's just going to be kind of smoldering, and you're not going to get a lot of BTUs off it, especially if you're looking for heat, right? So that's why I try to make sure all the wood that I sell, I'll try to, you know, test a bunch of different pieces to make sure that this is good. Because, you know, like for an example, I got a delivery coming up that's 4 full cords of wood, and that's a repeat customer, and I delivered her son as well. They usually get 4 or 5, so they usually buy 9 or 10 from me every year. You know, that's a lot of wood. So I make sure that the wood that I bring them, just like I do every customer, it's all burnable and ready to go. So I mean, I take pride in what I do, and your name means everything in this business. So just as a customer, like I said, just make sure you know what you're getting. You know, if you're unsure before they dump it or deliver it, just have them test a few in front of you. I mean, that's no big deal. I mean, and if it's not dry, they tell them to leave and bring you something else or go with somebody else. So, and that's just being accountable as a customer too. You know, making sure what you ordered is what you're getting. So, and I do that with anything. You know, like when I buy anything, you always, like you buy a brand new vehicle, you're going to inspect it right before you sign on the dotted line, right? Or you test drive it just to make sure you're not getting some faulty POS. So that goes with anything that you purchase. So But yeah, so yeah, you firewood guys, you know, make sure that what you're selling is what you're advertising. So, and if it's green wood, advertise it as semi-dry or semi-seasoned wood. You know, you probably still sell it. You may have to sell it for less than you would a natural, you know, seasoned firewood. You know, you want to be below 20% ideally. I mean, could it be 25? Sure, but it's kind of, to me, that's wet. I mean, I like to be around 17, 16, 15, if not lower than that if need be. So, but yeah, that's pretty much, I don't know why. I've had a lot of customers, you know, been a little concerned about it lately, so I figured I'd address with you guys, because I'm sure a lot of you that watch either, you know, are a firewood supplier or you're a buyer. So, and I know a lot of that's common sense, but some people have no idea. You know, I've had a lot of customers that are new to burning and they have no idea about species of wood. So it's kind of good to put some videos out there, semi-educating customers, because, you know, just like everything else, I mean, you don't know everything about everything. So we always do research, and I figure, you know, I always try to do my best with people. So, but yeah, if you have any questions on that or thoughts or your guys' input on what, you know, what your thoughts are on moisture content, what do you think is acceptable to burn or to sell? That's my thoughts on it. And I've been doing this a long time. I know there's older guys out there, you know, way older, twice as old as me, that's been doing it differently, or longer than me, that may say differently, but that's, you know, that's fine. Or they may agree, I don't know. But this is how my market is here, and this is what they want. And in my expertise of burning, and we burn a lot of wood, so, and selling, we sell a lot of wood as well. This is what my people want. So, and I think the average person would agree, but who knows? Everyone's got their own opinions. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys somewhat enjoyed that. I know it's just kind of a basic video, but it was just, like I said, it's just been on my mind, and I've had a lot of people, you know, concerned about the wood that they're going to buy because of their previous experiences with other companies. So I figured I would address it. So, but yeah, as always, keep burning.